Kevin Samuel said that women who aren't married by 35, they're leftovers, and men know that there is something wrong with them. Now, this is one of those things that you really need a man's touch on. This is an email and cash app sent by a person who wants to remain unnamed because they don't want us to know they listen to Kevin Samuels. I see you, girl. Thank you for that cash app. I'm gonna go buy coffee. She said, "Girl, I love your view on just about everything. I want to know what you think about what Kevin Samuel says that women who are 35, who are not married by 35, are leftovers, and men know that there's something wrong with them. Please do not call my name because I don't want people to know I listen to Kevin Samuel." Shout out to you, Boo. Shout out to you. Thank you for your love and support. We're going to talk about that real quick this morning. I didn't watch Put a Ring on It because I was up at 4 and I was in my writing mode. I was reviewing my new book. And so I didn't want to get out of that mode until about 7. I jumped in the tub. But I want to thank you for your love and support. I'm probably not going to watch that either later because I think we have union meeting today. Thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you for those of you who have cash at me, sent me, join my Patreon, picking up my books. I love you and I adore you. Women who are 35 are women who are married by 35, they're leftover women, and men know that there is something wrong with them. I wouldn't say there is something wrong with women, but I will say this. This is one of the things my dad taught me. I was about 17, and he said not to have any more babies, okay? Any good man would overlook me having Lexi as 16, and that's what my husband said. And my husband said if I had more than one kid, he wouldn't have married me. But I had Lexi young, I was 16, and I've been on the straight and narrow ever since. My dad also said something. He said, a divorced mom with 5 children is valued more to a man than a single mom with 5 children with different baby daddies. 2 women, 5 kids, valued differently. So, ladies, this is why it is so important for us to understand that there's a difference between men and women. There is a value system. And this is why I think every woman should sit down and talk to a man, as my dad said, that is worth his salt. Not Pookie, not Ray, not Tyra, but a real man who can really talk to you about how different men and women are and how men view us. Yes, there is a value system. Okay. The older, and I think it was my dad who told me this one, I will call him later. The older a woman gets, the less value she weighs for a man. Let me say that again. The older a woman gets, the less value she weighs or she's worth to a man. However, the older a man gets, the more valuable he becomes. I'm going to say that again. The older a man gets, the more valuable he becomes. Yet, the older a woman gets, the less valuable she becomes. Mm-hmm. Now, you would know that if your father, a good man, didn't teach you this. And so a lot of women are in their feelings because you don't understand, or, how could you say that? But that's what I was taught. That's what I was taught. This is why, ladies, and I beg, plead, yell, scream, kick on YouTube and in my books. Please, ladies, do not waste your 20s and your 30s being thoughts, running after Tyrone, Spookies, and Raries. Because look around you. Especially for Black women, we've been taught with a strong, independent Black woman, and you until you get 40 and you're like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want this. The problem with that is you have to unlearn all that strong, independent Black woman mentality you were taught in your 20s and 30s to try to snag you a Boaz. And she said, I was talking to her in email. She said, "Girl, I'm 41. Am I too old to get my Boaz?" No, you're not too old to get your Boaz. You just have to choose a husband that values you. And so, ladies, especially for my younger girls that's dating for marriage, please do not waste your 20s and 30s running after Pookie's, Tyrone's, and Rary. I have a picture I'm going to put up in my community tab. And the picture was the guys that went to college and, dress regular. Y'all don't want him. Y'all running after Pookie's, Rary's, and Tyrone's. So you get about 40 and you're like, oh, I need to go after the good boys who went to school, who got established, and so on and so forth. Now, the reason why women lose their value to some men as we get older is why the purpose of why they want us for our fertility, for our youth, our vigor, our strength, our juiciness, our femininity, and all of that. And while femininity doesn't decrease, but all those other things that he might need you for decreases. So, for example, my husband was in his mid-40s. He wasn't trying to marry nobody in their mid-40s. She can't have no babies. He wanted babies. So, yeah, he was in his 40s, but he wouldn't marry somebody in their 40s. The reason why a man value increases as he gets older is because he's supposed to be becoming more established, building wealth, and becoming more and more able to provide, to protect, and profess. Do you see it? Do you understand? So as he gets older, he's building wealth, he's becoming more, he's stashing more cash, he's creating generational wealth. And so the purpose for why we need them, which is to provide and to protect and to profess, he's becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. So men are valued more as they get older. Woman is valued a little less, especially if he wants her to have children, or she might come with a whole lot of baggage. You don't have 5 kids. So it's nothing to get offensive or upset about. It's just learning and understand. And those of us in our late 30s and 40, I got married at 35. I met my husband at 34. Those of us in our 40s, what you need to be doing, don't get mad. Pull you one of these young girls at your job, your niece, your nephew, and talk to them about dating. Now, in your 20s, you're supposed to be dating and gathering data and learning what it is that you want in a husband. In my book that's coming out soon, I talked about how I stopped dating men who were first generation wealth creators. In other words, they were the first one who would be able to provide and protect for their family and building wealth, because they had struggle mentality. I wouldn't date them. But it took time for me to realize that, like, wait a minute, you went to school, you got an education, but you have struggle mentality. I preferred men like my husband, whose father provided, protected, sent them to school, took care of mama, and so on and so on. Because his vision of a wife is, I'm supposed to take care of you and provide for you, because that's what my daddy did. Okay? So it is important to understand men and women are different. I say this all the time. The reason why a lot of women are in our emotions is because we think we're the same and we're not. We're not. We're different. Other than you're human, you have two eyes, two ears, mouth, nose, heart, mind, blood. Other than that, as far as mentality and thinking and responsibility, we are different. Now, I wouldn't say women are worthless, because another thing we need to realize is that couples are getting married older. Now, I have a friend, a brother. He didn't want no woman in there. He Hold on, Michael Jr. What am I doing? So, what do you need to do? Okay, thank you. He didn't want nobody in their 30s talk about they want to have babies. He already had 4 kids. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he thought he was done with 3 and got caught with 1, and he went up to see the doctor. And he's divorced, and he wanted to get married again. And these young girls that was throwing themselves after him, he was like, man, I don't want him. They want to have babies. I don't want to have no babies. So he got somebody who was his age, 50, had her kids. He have her kids, and they just got married. They need the companionship. So the thing is, ladies, don't get mad. Find the man who values you. Find somebody who sees the weight and the value in you. But if you're 35 and he in his 40 and he want to have some babies, he might pass you up. I'm just saying. So that's how you look at it, because as women, we don't understand that when God talk about women in the Bible, it's always with jewelry, virtuous woman. Who can find a virtuous woman whose price is far above rubies? Her wife is a crown to her husband. Value. We're just delusional in this age and time. That trophy wife concept, that came from the Bible. Trophy wife is not a bad thing. It's biblical. So ladies, don't get mad. You just have to meet the man that values you. And I don't think it necessarily means something is wrong with you. I think that I know a lot of well-established women, money, nothing. They can't find a decent guy. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and I say, you're leading with your stuff. He don't want your stuff. You're leading with, I got 2 jobs, I got 3 doctorates and a master's. Pookie Rares and Tyrone care about that. The man who wants you for your femininity, for your fertility, for your youth, your vigor, your sex appeal, he don't care about that. He cares about what you are worth to him. And so a lot of well-off established women are not meeting these men because they don't know how to pivot. You talk to me about your degrees and your job and your money. When it comes to a man, you don't do that unless you want to compete with him. So they don't want you because you're not showing him why he should have you. Unless it's a Pookie and Rary, they don't need your money. All right, I have to go. Be sure to show me love in my Patreon and in my Cash App. My books available. The Naked Wife, 23 Types of Guys You Might Meet. I have new books coming out very soon on the guys I dated and why I dropped them. Take Your Cookie Off the Table. I love that book. And of course, my new Study Your Bible journal for men and women. Excuse me, Father's Day, Mother's Day is coming. And of course, How to Read Your Bible in 1 year. I absolutely love you. Let me know what you think. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Just wise up and talk to the younger girls not to waste their time dating pookies and rares, popping babies out for every man you lay, because men measure us in weight, gold and silver and all that stuff. Okay. I love you. I have to go. Bye.